Hello everyone, and welcome to a new episode of my Melandru's Accord Adventures! I spent the entire last episode preparing for the most important Guild Wars event all year, the anniversary, and now it's here! The anniversary is here, and that means that for the next 2 weeks, all enemies will drop just a bunch of alcohol, festive items and sweets, all of which can be used for the 3 consumable titles, which are especially difficult to progress on a Melandru character, since we can't trade. And bosses also have a chance to drop either the Battle Isle Iced Tea, the Party Beacon, or the Delicious Cake, which are worth 50 points towards their respective titles. It would be especially amazing to get some party beacons, because the party title is the slowest one to get, but the cakes and the iced teas would be awesome as well. I want all of them, as much as possible. Most importantly though, one of the sweets you can get are the birthday cupcakes, which give you 100 health, 10 energy, and 25% increased movement speed for 30 minutes. That is the only movement speed buff outside of outposts available in Presearing, and they only drop during these 2 weeks. So I need to stock up for the whole year. Let's go farm some cupcakes, and I hope you'll enjoy. Hello everyone, happy anniversary! Before I go farming, there is one thing that needs addressing immediately, and that is my inventory space situation. I already did a little bit of farming and my bags are completely full. There are 9 items to get from the anniversary, 12 if you count the 50 pointers. I got 5 and I already ran out of space. Actually, one thing you didn't see is when I was recording the intro, I got a champagne popper and I couldn't pick it up, so I announced code red for my bags, very bad. I was hoping I would have a char bag at this point, but since I didn't get lucky in the last episode, we need to throw away some stuff. So I will be throwing away some of the Nick items. In the next few days, Nick will want unnatural seeds, worn belts and growl necklaces, so those have to stay. But I will be dropping the enchanted lodestones, the skeletal limbs, the single spider leg, the icy lodestones, that was the Nick item for today, so I didn't have that many, the dual carapaces, and the gargoyle skulls. Luckily, I really had just trace amounts of all of these, but that was my very first Melandru Accord inventory cleanup. First of, I'm sure, many more to come. And here's that champagne popper. Alright, time to finally go to the Northlands. One final intro-related thing to mention is we're continuing the Grail challenge, of course. That's the challenge where I try to collect every item in Presearing, and I'm currently at 32 out of 170 items, so fingers crossed for some cool purples on top of my anniversary drops. The thing about cupcakes is you end up profiting them whether you eat them or not, because even if you do eat them, you end up getting them faster just because of the 25% movement speed bonus. As a wise person once said, you need to spend cupcakes to earn cupcakes, so I will be eating one every run, and the 100 HP and 10 energy bonuses will help make the runs faster and smoother as well. Also, each cupcake gives 2 points towards the Sweet Tooth title, and those are my very first sweet points on the account. Hell yeah, first run, first 50 pointer, and it's a party beacon. I'm really happy with that drop. And as you can see, the inventory filled up fast, so maybe give me a char bag next, pretty please. There is one more item that drops during the anniversary, and those are victory tokens. They are a currency you can spend at collectors in post. There is nothing to spend them on in pre, so they are essentially useless for me. You can sell them to some people that will mule it to post, but I won't be picking them up to save some inventory space. Here's the first purple of the video, a jeweled staff. Mildly interesting, but I just got 2 purple scimitars back to back. And they are a new item as well. I'm gonna start recording new purples in batches because at this point they are still pretty common, but here's an accursed staff. And what makes this clip interesting is I also got a blue tribal axe, and that's my very first item from the blues section, because tribal axes cannot drop us purples, so we have to collect them blue. One very cool aspect of loot in Guild Wars is often if an enemy will drop an item they can use, you will actually see them wield it and use it. Like, for example, the char bosses usually don't have shields, so if you see one with a shield, it will actually drop that shield. I'll try to keep an eye out for examples like this so I can show you later, but there's another cool side effect of this we can see in Presearing. One of the skills Joe Smokeskin can use is Conjure Flame, which adds additional fire damage to attacks, and it can only be used if you wield a fire weapon. And if you look really close, he does hold a fire wand, or a fire staff, it's hard to tell from a distance. So anyway, if I attack him, he will cast Conjure Flame. If I kill him, he will drop that fire weapon, and if I'm lucky, it will be a purple. Not a purple, but there you go, a fire wand. As promised, here's the first batch of the new drops for the Grail. A tall shield and a flat bow. Both of these dropped from the same pack of char, so that's pretty cool. A blue tribal blade. In the previous Grail series, I thought for the longest time these can drop as purple, but no. So, blue tribal blade it is, a ram's hammer, and a smiting rod. Warhammers come in two skins, one is a lion skin and one is spiked, and as we can see on the ground, this one is the spiked Warhammer, and that's a new item. Here's an example of what I was talking about earlier. Char Chaots usually don't wear any shields, but this one visibly has a crude shield equipped, and if I kill him, he will drop a crude shield indeed. Alright, it happened. I still didn't get a char bag yet, and I got a Battle Isle iced tea, and I have absolutely no space to put that in, so I will be dropping the baked husks. They are not too pleasant to farm, and they are the nick item in a few days, but I don't know what else to drop. I think this is the best choice. Here's a really interesting drop. A twin hammer, which is interesting for two reasons. For twin reasons, haha. First of all, it's one of the only two items that can only drop as purple in Presearing. They have no white or blue variants, only purple, with the second being the spiked Warhammer, and I got both of them in this episode, so that's nice. And secondly, it's one of the very few items I had remaining in my old Grail challenge after 3 years of collecting, so it's really cool to get it now. And here's another batch of new drops to add to our virtual coloring book. A Deadly Cesta and a Smiting Staff. I got both of these in the same run. A Fire Staff, which is an Elementalist item, and we can only get those from Jaw Smokeskin, so thank you Jaw. And a Wooden Buckler. Yes, 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 yes! I got a char bag. Inventory space, come to me. Yes! 10 free inventory spaces. Oh, this feels so good. This feels so good, and I can get one more. I'm in heaven right now. Okay, now that I have this bag and at last some empty inventory slots, I wanna go and take a little break from Northlands to go do my Vanguard quest. Northlands is still the main focus while the event is active, but it's high time I started getting some XP on the side, so whenever the daily Vanguard quest is not a Northlands one, I will go and do the previous one I got, and then accept the new one to hold for the Vanguard Initiate bonus, and I'll only do this on days the daily is not in the Northlands, so I'm not stuck with a Northlands quest spawning high-level enemies that drop no loot. I think that makes sense. There are two strategies you can go for when doing Vanguard quests. You can either do them at your own level, or you can downscale them by partying up with an alt that's between level 10 and 13. By downscaling, you get to fight Vanguard enemies at the lowest possible level, which makes the quest a lot safer and faster, but you end up missing out on a lot of XP since the low-level foes don't give you anything, so you only get the 1000 XP reward at the end. It's a classic choice of risk versus reward, and I'm choosing to do the safer runs. They're still not exactly safe, especially the undead one I'm doing right now, but unscaled it can get really dangerous. I could also just do the whole quest on my alt and keep this character standing somewhere safe, but I never liked that. I like actually playing my main and not just boosting myself to rank 3. Plus 1000 XP? Back to the good old Northlands, and I think the char must have missed me for the 20 minutes I was gone, because they just dropped me my very first char kit. Just like char bags, these only drop from the char bosses, they are quite rare and they are extremely useful. Each kit has 5 charges, and you can use them to salvage runes and insignia from blue identified armors to add to your own armor. You can use them to salvage weapon prefix and suffix mods to attach to your own weapon, and you can use them to salvage rare crafting materials, and I need to get the rare materials for my grail. Both kits and bags are amazing drops, but after you get 2 char bags, you can't use them for anything anymore, so any subsequent bag drops are pretty useless, but I will always find a use for more char kits. Also, I got a delicious cake in the same drop, just incredible stuff. I am hoarding 5 unidentified armors right now, so it's high time for a little identifying session to get some slots filled. And also, ever since I got that char kit, I can start looking for runes or insignia that I would actually like to keep to upgrade my own armor. The ones I would keep right now would be Marksmanship, Wilderness Survival, and Minor Vigor. Down the line I also want Beast Mastery, Expertise, and 5 Survivor insignia, but I just wouldn't want to clutter my inventory with them right now. So, time to identify. This is Radiant, I believe I already had that. Another Radiant. Anchorite with Vitae. Tormentors. And Stalwart with Vitae. I believe only 2 of those were new, so that is a little unlucky at this stage of the Grail, but what can you do? Well, what you can do is find 2 more on the ground. This one is Minion Masters, I already had that, and this one is Blessed. Tomorrow's Nick item is Baked Husks, so I went ahead and farmed some, just the 25 I needed, so once I turn it in, the inventory slot opens up again. And the day after that is Skeletal Limbs, so I'm gonna do a Skull River run or 2 and get them as well. Skull River is a boss, so technically he can drop the 50 pointers too, if he feels generous. I'll take the cupcake. I am so tired right now, but I had to open OBS for this. I just got my very first purple focus drop, and that is very significant because foci are a lot more rare than any other type of item for some reason. Roughly an order of magnitude rarer, and on my previous grail, the vast majority of items I was still missing were indeed the magic offhands. This one is a divine symbol, which is a monk one, and it's already really rare, but for the sake of information, since I'm already talking about this, if you remember what I said about Joe Smokeskin being the only source of Elementalist purples in the Northlands, combine that with the fact that foci are about 10 times rarer than other items, and that means Elementalist offhands are the rarest items we can get in the entire Grail challenge. So if I ever get one, we are very excited, and for now, I'm very excited about this divine symbol. Well, the only item that could possibly rival them in rarity is a Ritual is Dead stuff, but that's a topic for another video. Whoa. I don't know what's going on with this character, because I seem to be getting lucky left and right, and just now I got a 12 to 19 damage longbow, which is the best bow I have ever found, ever, in Presearing. The best damage range on a bow that can drop in the Northlands is 12 to 20, possibly 12 to 21, although that's still a little bit disputed. My current bow is 10 to 16, it has a pretty good prefix modifier, and it has the best possible suffix, but it has no inherent modifier, and the bow I just got is 12 to 19, so it's almost perfect damage range. So 12 to 19 already blows 10 to 16 out of the water, and no matter what happens, even if it doesn't have an inherent modifier, this is probably the best bow I will ever find ever. But if it somehow has a good inherent modifier, like a 14% damage bonus over 50% health, then this would be a crazy drop, but I don't want to jinx it. Let's just identify it and see what happens. Sadly, this is a prefix, it doesn't have an inherent, but That is still a crazy drop. That is still a crazy drop. It's the best bow that I will probably ever have. And I will salvage the 18% char slaying mod soon from this bow and we will attach it to this longbow. Let's salvage the bow grip of char slaying from my previous bow. This has a chance of destroying the bow. But it survived, yes, thank you. I'm so glad. Even though I'm probably not gonna use it anymore, I'm glad that I get to keep the bow that carried me so far. And let's attach my new bow grip of char slaying to my new bow. That is a sick item to have on a Melandru Ranger, holy. I could also salvage the Sundering bowstring from this short bow, but I think I will want to go with an elemental one on my new bow, so I will leave this for now. I can always just salvage it later. And I also don't need my previous longbow anymore. Goodbye. And of course, I'm gonna customize it for that sweet 20% damage bonus. You know, I'm getting spoon-fed these amazing bows, the 18% char slaying and now this. And the 12 to 19 is an amazing find, but I'm really glad it's not perfect. It's a longbow, which is a really good bow type, but in my ideal world I would want a flat bow, I think. It has no inherent, and I just checked to make sure, and the 12 to 21 bows are confirmed to be possible, but the drop rate is just so abysmal that it's gonna be something to chase, hopefully for years to come, and I'm just glad I wasn't given the best possible thing on a silver platter and that I still have a weapon I can hunt for. Tomorrow I'm leaving for a weekend trip with my wife. We come back Monday evening, and both Tuesday and Wednesday are usually the busiest days of the week for me, and Wednesday evening the event is over, so I'm gonna take a break from the Northlands right now and focus on more assorted farming, either doing school river runs or just clearing out zones like Green Hills or Regent's Valley. Northlands is very slow for Cupcakes for me, since I can't kill enemies nearly as fast as these low levels in the other zones. And if I want to stock up on Cupcakes for the entire year ahead, I need to switch focus on that for now, since I don't have that much playtime during the event left. That means I will most likely not get any more 50 pointers, but if that gets me closer to a stack of Cupcakes, I'm fine with that trade-off. And through the magic of editing, I am now speaking to you from the future. We are back from the trip. It was a lot of fun and we finally got a chance to rest a little. Work was really rough for us lately, especially for Matilda, so it was really nice to have a bit of a break. But most importantly, this was also a very first trip for the newest member of our family, our cat Bimbon. She's a very adventurous little beast. If it was up to her, we would be playing or exploring all the time, no resting. She's only half a year old, and this is the first time I'm introducing her on the channel, so as a special one-time offer for this episode only, if you comment "Nice to meet you, Bimbon," I will heart your comment. Anyway, I also had my laptop with me, so I could get some chill farming done in the evening, so here's some notable things that happened. I got 2 more black dice. These should really count for the grail at this point, but I also really want to grab a live commentary clip of getting one, so I'm still not counting them. I'm sure we'll get more though. I got to 100k XP, my first 100k on the road to Legendary Survivor, and I got a back 3-pack cupcake drop, so a cupcake from a monster, then another cupcake from the next monster, and another cupcake from the next monster. And now, you're all caught up. The event ends tomorrow, but I'm getting close to a stack of cupcakes and I would really want to hit it, so I think I will stay up late today and try to grind it out. But before that, this will be my very first stack of Gifts of the Huntsman. The plan is to stack at least 3 more full stacks before opening. Well, I guess that's worth a clip. I got a Divine Symbol dupe, RIP. Here's something mildly interesting I read on the wiki. When you have multiple of the 50-pointer items, their names are in singular form. So, for example, 5 Delicious Cake, 4 Party Beacon, and 3 Battle Isle Iced Tea. They are not plural like all the other items in the game, and you will never unsee this now. And here it is. Here's the birthday cupcake number 250 for a full stack, which was my main goal for this event. And now I can breathe a big sigh of relief because it's really late. I don't know if I'll get any playtime tomorrow, and I really wanted to get this done this event, and now it's done. I did manage to find some gaming time after all, and excuse this weird angle, but this is the only angle where I was able to see even a part of this earth staff that I just got. And you see that golden pattern on the weapon? I believe that means that is the obsidian earth staff. Let me pick it up to see. Yep, and that is also one of the remaining items I was never able to find on my main grail on my previous ranger, and now I got it on this one. Really fantastic find, and also a sick looking skin. Surprise, surprise, I ran out of space. The stuff is sitting in a spot where I usually keep my ID kit, but since I don't have space, I can't even buy an ID kit, so I took a little stroll to my boy Rolf here, who is a merchant outside of an outpost, which lets me drop items so I can buy an identification kit so we can identify this stuff. And if I equip it, you can see that it gives +7 visible energy, but if I equip it, my energy goes up by 10, which that means it has a +3 energy insightful mod, which isn't too great, but I'm wondering if it has anything else. No. There we go. I am rewarded big time for farming the event till the end. Here is my second charbag, and the last charbag I will ever get excited about. But look at all this space. And as a final update, I guess, it's now 9:29, which means the event has been over for 29 minutes now, but just to squeeze as many rewards as possible, I made sure to zone in Green Hills County just before the event ended, and I managed to snag a few extra cupcakes. After full clearing that zone, I mapped out, and so with that, the anniversary event is now over, for real this time. Here's everything that I managed to get: 5 delicious cakes, 4 party beacons, 3 iced teas, a good amount of all the various basic consumables, and most importantly, 280 birthday cupcakes, which will be very useful for the longer Vanguard quests in the coming year. I focused on farming the Northlands for the most of the time I played, which turned out to be a bit of a mixed bag. On one hand, even though I could clear it, and it was the best way to get the 50-pointer items, the clears were pretty slow, and if I just focus on farming the other areas, I would most likely get a lot more cupcakes. But on the other hand, I did get some 50-pointers, which are very cool to get. We made good progress in the Grail, and I got this absolutely sick bow, so overall, I'm really glad I spent as much time in the Northlands as I did. I'm gonna keep all the 50-pointer items just to collect. I like seeing the stacks grow year after year. I'm gonna keep all the cupcakes, of course. The plan is to save some for the next anniversary, but I will sporadically be using them throughout the year. And I'm gonna keep the honeycombs, and just like cupcakes, I'm gonna use them for the morale boost whenever I need it. As for the rest, it's time to eat it all! So I'm gonna do that, and in the meantime, thank you for watching, hope you enjoyed, hope you'll have a wonderful day, and I hope to see you in the next one. Goodbye! Alright, one bonus clip for everyone that stays after the credits. Here is level 17. Bye!